Hey Golf Gang, welcome to the channel, welcome to Path of Exile. Today we are going to look at the Oni-Goroshi build that I was farming, and we have now reached maps. We are level 70, so we're just going to go over the build and see how we fared. Currently in the full Ravager MTX, so we've got Ravager helm, body, water elemental weapon, Corsair weapon effect, arcane visage, synthesis crown, and all this is Ravager stuff. Looks pretty cool. I love the glowy sword. The reason I wanted to MTX the Oni-Goroshi itself is because it is so very tiny, so we've just made it bigger using MTX to look at. The original idea for the build came from PoE Ninja, and it's based on this character here in, as you can see, SSF Calandra, level 88 Chieftain, and this is where the player stopped at week 1, end of week 1. I'm not going to go over the gear. If you want to find this person, it's just easy enough. PoE Ninja, type in Oni-Goroshi, look for a Chieftain week 1, and it's a social and a blaze. So that's the tree they had with the masteries, and this is how they done their setup. And we've pretty much copied it with some amendments. Now, in Calandra, I had a very limited budget. I did do a bit of heist to get some chaos. So we did a little bit of heist and got some chaos recipe going. We ended up with about 40C, which, as you can see, is now gone. We spent it on our rings. Everything else, gear wise, is what we got during the campaign. So let's just go through the gear and the skills, and then we'll have a look where my tree is at the moment. Excuse me. So there it is. There's the Oni-Goroshi. I got a really well rolled one, 87 out of 90% critical strike chance. Everything else is set. It even dropped with about, I think it's about 7% quality, so we just bumped that up to 20%. In here we have Tectonic Slam, buffed by Polarize, elemental damage with attacks, multi-strike, life tap, and onslaught. Now ideally this would be 6 red sockets, so we can put fire penetration in, but I've spent over about 250 chromes so far, and this is the best I can get. I usually end up with either 2 blue or 1 green or a multitude of different ones. I can't get 6 red, so it's fine. Onslaught is quite good. It gives us the movement speed, attack speed, etc. So that's really good for this build. Down in our gloves, which we picked up during leveling, we've got our leap slam, life tap, combustion, and faster attacks. What we end up doing is leap slamming into a pack, which applies the combustion, and then we spam our Tectonic Slam, and everything just gets squishied. This is a helm that I already had in my stash from leveling up my other character in Calandra, and I'd kept it because it was really well rolled from a Jun mission. As you can see, it's got the plus 20 lightning and chaos resist on there. So yeah, we're using that at the moment. And in here we've got our arrogance supported vitality, we've got our blood and sand, and we've got our blood rage. Down to the boots. These boots are horrible. I've had them for a very long time, as you can tell by the eye level. One of the only reasons why we're keeping it is literally because of the 70 life, the 2 res, and the fact that we've got the enchant on there for leech. In here we have our ancestral war chief, which again is life tapped, maim, and cold strike. We've got a feast bind on at the moment, just because I have no currency to replace it. Quite a nice, well rolled one. I don't really want to play with the implicit. I've only got 15 blessed orbs, and it's quite likely that that would end up being a lot lower. So this ring we brought from trade. Can't remember. I think it was about 10C. It's the dex that we were after more than anything else. We need dex and intelligence on this character, and I do not have an Astromentis, So that would be the best option, really, is to pick up an Astromentis and go from there. I should have looked for one for trade before I looked for the rings, but we live and learn. So that's that ring. This is the other ring. This only cost me about 3C. I picked it up for the synth implicit, synth on there, the 12% elemental res, 'cause that's all I needed. I then crafted using intelligence essences until I got something that was relatively okay. So that's what we ended up with there. This is our amulet, which again was spammed with dex essences until got something usable. Again, there's no life, it's a pretty bad amulet. I don't care about rarity, and the global critical multiplier, again we need crit chance before we get multi. And then this is a 5-socket armor. Again, I had this in my stash, I kept it because it was pretty good. I thought it was pretty good for a leveling item, so that's what we've got. This houses all our auras, and because we can't afford an enlightened gem at the moment, it doesn't need to be linked. So we've got in here determination, war banner, herald of purity, herald of ash, and precision. This is why everything is life tapped, all our skills are life tapped, so we can reserve as much mana as possible to get all these juicy auras in, to get our damage up. Tectonic Slam is one of the better gems I found to play this build. Well, not better. I wanted an Oni-Goroshi, I wanted to play a Cheiftain, and that person we found on PoE Ninja at the time looked to be the best build based on the gear, because we were playing in a 7-day Marauder only private league, which is why we've got a Cheiftain. So that's the gear. We've got some I rolled this just after finishing BA. Sorry, my blood aqueducts, my mind went back then. I don't use a Quicksilver when I'm leap slamming because I just don't need it. Leap slam doesn't have a cooldown, and you just keep leap slamming away. So we've got a sulfur flask, we've got a granite flask with anti-freeze and chill, we've got our diamond flask with shock, and a silver flask with extra armor. And the sulfur one's got immunity to poison. We don't need to worry about ignite because of our ascendancy points, so we're just going to have a look at the passive tree now. So here we go. I took Namahu in normal lab. I should have taken Tassalio for the fire res. It would have been so much better, and again, unaffected by ignite. So I have got a POB I'm putting together for this build. If the build works out, we've only just got to maps, so we'll see how it performs in maps before I do an actual probably. Although I'll probably release a POB anyway if anyone wants to have a laugh. So Tassalio should be taken in normal lab for the 100% fire resist. It just makes getting resists a lot easier. You've only got to worry about 3 then, which is your lightning, cold, and chaos. Then you would take Nahamahu and Ramako for the penetration, and then up to Hind Cora. The reason we will leave Hind Cora last is because it's 10% increased strength, and hopefully we can get more strength so we can get more damage, etc. The other ones, I did look at taking Valako, but trying to get max crit chance on this build is a pain. The final build has a cluster set up down here, but I'm going to POB and see what happens if we take Resolute Technique. The damage of this build is very low anyway, even on that level 88 version with some quite nice gear in SSF. They was only topping out at about 250k, so it's not a build to do bosses on. I'm not even sure how far to push it. I think it's going to be one of those where you're going to need to invest a ton of currency, but I'm going to play with the tree before I go much further to see what we can do by taking Resolute Technique, because it would allow us to drop so many points This is all, where are we? Have I taken any crit nodes yet? Yeah, you've got 6-7 points here for crit. You've got another 4 down here for crit. We've got to come down here and take this crit wheel here. We've got this crit wheel as well. We've got this up here as well. So you've got about 20 points invested, at least, in crit. So I'm going to see what the damage is without all of that. Bum him in Resolute Technique. Pick up some more life nodes, because as you can see, we've only got 2.5k life. We've got 500 reserved in Vitality. And you need that with all the life tap. Life tap is really good. We do a lot of damage, get the life tap buff. And again, it allows us to store more auras, which with the 8% damage for each aura is a significant amount of DPS. It may be that this build is just one of those where you just need a ton of divines to put in to make it feel good. But I'll find out. I'm gonna do some POBing with RT and see what happens in POB. I may apply that findings to the tree and see how we get on. We've got 9 refund points from the campaign. There are more to pick up. There's a few quests I could do, the optional quests that we don't usually do in the campaign. I could pick those up as well to give me more. And we've got a fair few number of regrets as well to play with. So that's where we're at on the build. Level 70, we did a T4 map. It was okay. We have got a slight passive tree going on. We're going for expedition, harvest, and we'll eventually come up for these Eater of Worlds nodes as well. But I'm not sure how far we'll get, really. Very limited currency, as you can see. So yeah, we'll just see what happens. We will play it for a few more days. Probably Wednesday or Thursday I'll put out another video on this build. See how we get on. I've just done, or uploading right now as I speak, is another HC SSF video. I'll do some more of that this week as well. So yeah, that's where we're at. Hope you're enjoying Mayhem for those that are playing it. Stay safe in Rogue Harbour. See you in the next one.